and Diane Collin, Project Manager for Cityway Canada, who have been deeply involved with the project since its inception. Robert is responsible for managing the Triplinx program at Metrolinx. Robert's focus is on regional integration of transit and traveler information. Diane Collin is working with Metrolinx on the Triplinx project since 2014. Diane has managed several projects for Cityway France, including regional and local trip planners and traveler information systems on websites and smartphones. Some housekeeping items before we start our webinar, and I hand it over to Robert. The webinar will be recorded, and a link to Windows Media file will be sent to all attendees. We have allocated about 40 to 45 minutes for the presentation, and Robert and Diane will take the questions at the end. You can send your questions through the text box or raise hand provided on your webinar tool. As a courtesy towards other attendees and presenters, please mute your line unless you need to ask a question. So with that introduction, I'm going to hand over the control of the screen to Robert for his presentation. Robert, what's up? Now you have the control. Robert, are you there?
Yes, I'm just waiting for the screen to appear, Rajiv.
Okay, no problem. Something went wrong, Robert?
I can't see the screen.
So what we can do is, if you want, I can run the presentation from my screen.
Sure.
If you're okay?
Yep, that's fine.
Okay, give me 1 minute. Please bear with me for a minute. So Robert, can you see the screen?
Yes, that's fine, Rajiv.
Okay, no problem. So let me know whenever you want me to move the screen. And Dan, maybe I can just do the same for you also. Is that okay?
Yeah, well, I can take the hand when you give it to me. It's okay.
Okay, no problem. So probably I'll hand it over to you.
Okay.
So Robert, up to you.
Okay, thank you, Rajiv. We'll just go to the next screen, please.
Okay.
Perfect, thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you, Rajiv, for inviting Diane and I to address the ITS Canada attendees. Before passing the presentation to Diane, I'll take a few moments to review the historical events and context leading up to the development of Triplinx and some of the application's key features. Later, I'll review the strategy and the integral partnerships that have assured our success, as well as some of the challenges we face and lessons we have learned. As well, I'll conclude by reviewing our future growth plans. Some common themes that you will observe and that have contributed to our success are collaboration, teamwork, and the shared expertise of our many partners. Let me first begin with an overview of Metrolinx, briefly as Rajiv has already mentioned, and its mandate, and for those attendees who do not reside in Ontario. So once again, Metrolinx is an agency of the Government of Ontario and was created to improve the coordination and integration of all modes of transportation in the Greater Toronto and Hamilton area. The organization's mission is to champion, develop, and implement an integrated transportation system for a region that enhances prosperity, sustainability, and quality of life. As we review Triplinx and its features this afternoon, I think you'll see a very close alignment to the Metrolinx vision and mission. And next slide, please. So to reiterate, Metrolinx is responsible for the planning and coordination of transportation in the GTHA. For context, there are 11 public transit systems in the region. One of them, Go Transit, provides regional transit services, while Up Express provides 15-minute interval service from downtown Toronto to Pearson International Airport. Each of the 11 services have their own customer information systems of varying maturity. Generally, our studies and surveys have indicated a low awareness of the amount and quality of transit services, and that regional growth is increasing the amount of travel involving more than one transit system. Additionally, we were finding that there is a critical need for a one-stop source of transit information and the presentation of all available services as an integrated network. Next, please. I should note that Triplinx, and we'll just go back one slide, please. Thank you. I should note that Triplinx was initially implemented in the spring of 2015 in time to assist with the traffic management concerns associated with the Pan Am and Para-Pan Am Games hosted in Toronto that summer. Integration of the Pan Am website allowed spectators to review or view their sporting venues and then generate a transit trip itinerary to their game event, thus shifting some of the travel demand from the roads to public transit. Triplinx was designed to be a key strategic tool for customer service and transit ridership development. It provides flexible management of multi-agency transit service data and one-stop customer information serving the entire travel experience. By way of comparison, we have found that North American systems generally blend in-house and third-party products, while in Europe, urban regions also generally deliver an integrated multi-agency information in multiple forms. At Metrolinx, we believe there is a need for multi-agency transit information to make the public aware of the options provided by an integrated GTHA network. Next, please. For those attendees this afternoon who are not familiar with the geography of the GTHA, there's a schematic just to the right side of the screen. To summarize, Triplinx is a one-stop information resource. It includes a trip planning tool for travel throughout the GTHA, information on all GTHA transit and paratransit providers, information on schedules and fares, and also is available via desktop, mobile website, and mobile apps for iOS and Android. Triplinx provides a solid foundation for future development that will include real-time information and alerts, integration of additional modes, and additional information distribution channels, as is recently evident in the current Go Transit kiosk pilot program that places informational touchscreens in select stations. Next, please. Before I hand the presentation over to Diane, I'd like to mention that Triplinx is a map-centric system, allowing customers to find information quickly, and that the trip planner and schedules have recently been upgraded with real-time information from the first 3 of our agency partners that have their RT information available. We also have favorites and personalized information, along with fares, transit, and paratransit information across the region. We have built accessibility into the application, and also we are proud to be WCAG 2.0 AA compliant on all platforms. I should also note that we have an iframe plugin that allows our agency partners to insert Triplinx seamlessly into their respective websites. And I would mention that agency contact centers regularly use Triplinx to offer their customers multi-agency information. I would now invite Diane to provide a little more information about Cityway, our Triplinx development partner, and to provide a graphical tour of our application.
So Diane, I'm going to hand over the controls to you.
Okay, thank you.
You have the control now.
Hello, everyone. So Triplinx, when we started Triplinx, we started in 2014 with Cityway. So I'm going to present a little bit who Cityway is. Cityway was created in 2001, and since then we bring our expertise to increase multimodal passenger information and to allow transit providers to show the best transit-related information for their networks. So we create tools. We are based in France, so we have big projects everywhere in France, but also in other parts of the world, mostly in France. And we create tools for travelers, information such as multimodal trip planner systems with multiple transit modes, bus, subway, train, but also including other modes, alternate modes such as personal bikes or cars, carpools, the plane, the ferries. And we always try to improve by integrating the last technologies and possibilities of integration in our development. So some tools are built for passengers, such as websites and smartphone apps, but we also provide solutions for the agencies to bring better solutions. So to connect to the transit system with smart ticketing services, with some fleet monitoring, and we also have some products to supervise the systems and to manage transit terminals also, such as the indication you can see on the digital boards and terminals, for example. So I'm going to show you a little bit our products. We have several sets of products. Our most important and used product is the one that is related to information and data. We manage the data directly behind the website. So OptiWeb is the website, OptiBase is the database management, but we can also use multimodal and intermodal trip planner information with OptiGo, and the mobile with OptiMod, and all the schedules information is managed by another tool that is OptiPrint. And we have some sets of tools that is really related to transport on demand. Multiple ways. Optical is the product that we use for the contact centers to be able to reply and manage their calls. We have FleetMe, which is more carpooling systems, and ChronoPro, which is also another system that allows alternate management of what you have on your network. One of our products is e-ticketing, so how to replace the paper ticket by another solution with website or with phone, and with so phone is more payment system, and ticketing is more apps system, and then the web also. And also all the operational parts, which is the management of the events on your transit system, monitoring, and also managing big hubs with GeoHubs. So here are some examples of big projects we are dealing with in France. MovieZ is in the region of Saint-Etienne. It provides information to service access, ticketing, all the website information that you can find, such as trip planner with a multimodal system. Also, it has some system to unblock open the parking barriers, or unlock the bikes. We have that integrated in our products. Optimode Lyon, it's in Lyon. It has some predictive information and some real-time information. So a bit like you can find on Triplinx real-time information. It's a very big multimodal website and apps for the region. And we include all modes in the region, but also air information or taxi information. You can also use, they use a transport on demand management tool on this Optimode Lyon. And PACA Mobilité is also a very big website for the Provence-Alpes region, Alpes and Côte d'Azur, so Nice, but also Marseille. Our offices are based in Aix-en-Provence, so in the south of France. It's included in PACA. So it's a big transit website. It also have apps, and you have transit information for tourists mostly, because it's a big touristic area, but also for businesses. We have some special partnership with businesses over there, and we manage them in this big website. The Alsace is a bit the same, but for the Alsace region, with a lot of information about this region. And Itinéraire, it's a very special project. We have this project of 12 years now. It has been launched 12 years ago. It was launched by the Isère County Public Transport Authority, and it provides real-time information in the region, and we also manage their operational systems. So we started to work in Toronto in 2014. We really took that as it had to be a collaborative job because of course we had to work with all the 11 transit providers all together in the project with Metrolinx, and for that we worked a lot to build the project on what is called the agile method, so directly connecting the 11 transit providers of the project, and we divided into working groups with transit providers attendees and with Metrolinx and Cityway attendees, and we built the specification for the web and for the apps, and then it allowed us to work with what we call runs. So we worked on runs. For example, one run was dedicated to the trip planner, one with schedules, to the schedules, and so on. And so that when we finished one run, it was sent to the developers team, and we could start studying a new run for specification with the transit providers. And then we started again until we finished all the runs, and at the end the delivery was made with all the runs together, and we could test a finalized version before publishing it. All the tests were also run by the agencies, and the approval at the end was made collaboratively. So here is what we have in Triplinx. As Robert mentioned, it's a map-centric system. So everything can be managed on the map. The trip planner integrates real-time information. All the three agencies that are providing real-time information right now are TTC in Toronto, HSR in Hamilton, and YRT in York. They all provide these information. It's two different kind of information, real-time schedules, but also the movements of their vehicles. So you can find this in Trip Planner, but you can also find it in the schedules with real-time information. So what we decided together is to keep the original information in the system, such as the schedules. So we work with GTFS. It's a Google format. We integrate all the GTFS data files. That's all technical, but it's the name of the format. And then we have the schedules information displayed. On that, we have the real-time information that is communicated, and you can see it here. We have all the vehicle positions. So here is an example in the schedules. When you search one of the routes with real-time information, then you see the whole shade of the route, but also the vehicles moving in real time. There are several ways to find the information that you search. Everything is related to the map. So in every place that you click on the map, is it on the vehicle position to see everything that is around that is related to this specific vehicle that you select, or the stops around, or the places around that you can find where you search an information. Everything is clickable. There is also a part to manage favorites. So favorites, it's a personal dashboard such as you can find everywhere by putting some favorite information. It interacts with real time. So you can, for example, put your favorite stop or your favorite route in your favorites, and then it will give you the related information to stops and routes. You can also have some information in real time about bike stations. We integrate the Toronto, previously Bixby bikes, but it's now Toronto bike stations with real-time feed. Everything that has a real-time feed can be integrated in our system. We also did the same for the apps. The apps is also now a new version, totally new, of the map-centric version of the apps. We have it on both iOS and Android. It starts by the map itself. You can search everything that you want in the map. You can plan a trip. You can look at all the information that is around your position. You can access to your favorites, and you can have something called My Trips, where you can follow your favorite trip or information related to trips. Here are some screenshots. So this is the trip planner. The left screen, you have a plan that is trip with 3 results that are provided. The next screenshot is a screenshot showing the trip details. So here you can see that it is in real-time information. And the next one is a way to follow your trip directly. So you can see that there is a vehicle approaching here on the map and going to join your starting point, which is represented by A, and it will start in 5 minutes. So all these informations are in real time. Same in the schedules. You can search either a stop to look at the real-time information or not, the next departures at the stop. You can also look, so that's the first screenshot. You can also look in the middle at route information. This one has real-time too. When there is real-time, it's represented by the logo, of course. You can also follow some vehicles, or you can click on one of the stops. So here, one of the stops is selected on the map called Bay Street at College Street, and find the 3 next departures at this specific stop. Everything, again, is interconnected. That's all related to the map. And I will pass the presentation back to Robert, or to Rajiv.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dan. Robert, so I'm going to take over the control and I'll move the slides for you.
Sure. Thank you, Rajiv. Thank you, Dan. I'll now take a few minutes to review our strategy. We consider ourselves to take a customer-centric approach based on preliminary surveys and a defined strategy. Prior to embarking on Triplinx, a market research survey and mapping of information needs strengthened the case for the system and kept focus on the customer needs. A regional transit traveler information strategy was completed in 2012 and provided the vision and guidance for the project. That strategy also defined our project scope, high-level architecture, an inventory of transit agency readiness, and guidance on project approach and governance. I would also note that all our GTHA transit services participated in developing the guiding strategy. Next slide, please. We do feel that there is a role for the public sector in providing integrated transit information, and we believe that one of our value-added services comes in the form of addressing customer feedback and enhancing the validity and accuracy of our collective data sets. Collaboration with our transit agency partners has enabled a shared commitment to customers, allowed us to improve on our agency systems and respective data, and to engage our collective expertise. We have followed an incremental implementation strategy that started with trip planning and scheduled static information, as mentioned by Diane, allowed us to grow in manageable increments to manage our risk, and established our working relationships and confidence, and very importantly, created the foundation for future project opportunities. Next slide, please. This depiction of the governance model for Triplinx will show the distributed framework of our governance. At the top left, our executive sponsors provide high-level guidance and approvals for major phases of the project. In the center, we are guided by our executive sponsor who coordinates funding and resources. Our business sponsor prioritizes enhancements and chairs our steering committee meetings. Program management is a coordinated effort that includes myself, our business consultants at IBI Group, and our Triplinx administrator, who is a Metrolinx employee. I would note that early in our project, IBI Group played a critical role in defining our requirements and assisting with the development of our request for proposal. On an ongoing basis, IBI assists with project management and quality assurance. You will see our Cityway team in the bottom left, and apart from Diane, the Cityway team is entirely located in France. We have 2 Metrolinx IT colleagues assisting in architecture and quality assurance. And of particular note, our regional transit partners each provide 1 representative to participate on our customer experience, visual identity, and technical working groups. Next slide, please. I should mention that we manage our distributed team and associated teamwork with extensive use of WebEx to enable communication such as design reviews and region-wide participation in testing. Through Metrolinx, our regional transit agencies, Cityway, IBI Group, and OCAD University, we have an extensive array of skills and expertise in the following areas that include, as you can see, project management, business analysis, quality assurance, procurement, visual design, accessibility, user experience, communications, and also change management. Next, please. As I mentioned at the beginning of our presentation, partnership, teamwork, and collaboration have been main themes during the Triplinx project. As such, each of the 11 agencies are responsible for providing timely and accurate data, as well as supplementary data such as stop accessibility and fare information. Again, the Triplinx application was acquired and is operated by Metrolinx, and that effort included procurement, project management, acceptance, as well as ongoing monitoring and administration. Next, please. Triplinx, of course, is not without its challenges. A few of these are noted below. The collective maturity and quality of data across the region is not achieved overnight, nor in a uniform manner. As an example, real-time information is not yet available from all agencies, but we should have 9 out of 11 real-time data sets integrated by the end of Q2 this year. Additionally, while delivering major components of the project, there is a delicate balancing act where we are constantly challenged to have the agility to deliver enhancements, and it is these customer-requested enhancements that ensure Triplinx is regarded as a one-stop source of information that portrays an integrated regional transit network. And lastly, there is a considerable need for review and consensus regarding the definition of our future roadmap and functionality. To this end, we will be able to draw upon findings and recommendations from an ongoing mobile strategy initiative to guide us going forward. Next, please. Obviously, there have been many lessons learned along the way, and several worth mentioning are as follows. The need to establish a strong shared vision. This is definitely a critical aspect and necessary to spend time on initially to ensure a collective vision. To maintain a customer-centric focus, this is a mindset that guides us to be empathetic and receptive to customer requests and suggestions. To provide active collaboration or collaborative governance, this has been absolutely critical, as we would not be able to achieve our collective goals without the active participation and guidance provided by our network of partners. We have been able as a team to promote client, vendor, and agency teamwork so that we are not overly governed by a contract and still have flexibility to make decisions as issues arrive. And lastly, we have found the need to engage in a continuous review of usability, and we achieve that through review of customer feedback and input provided from our transit agency partners and their respective contact center representatives. Next, please. Finally, I'd like to conclude with a look forward at some of the features that Triplinx is actively developing, as well as some of the possibilities that could exist for us in the near future. Phases currently under development for 2017 are as follows. Our Phase 2, which is a continued integration of real-time information with additional agencies once the real-time data becomes available. And later in the year, Phase 3, which would include service bulletins and alerts and the related personal subscriptions so that you can receive notifications of those type of alerts. Our future phases include, or may include, the addition of new agencies and services that provide additional connecting transit services beyond the GTHA, additional distribution channels such as the station kiosks mentioned earlier, and first mile, last mile solutions that could include partnerships with a range of providers, and even an extended integration of enhanced road or flight information. Again, on behalf of Diane, I'd like to thank Rajiv and ITS Canada for the invitation to speak with you today, and we look forward to any questions you might have.
Thank you so much, Robert. Thank you so much, Diane. I do apologize for a very small blip, and I don't know what happened. I did change the presenter from Diane to myself, and all of a sudden it stopped showing the slides which I had on my screen here. So thank you all. I got a lot of text, and thanks to Amara, she texted me on my phone. So thank you for reminding me of that technical glitch. Anyway, we are ready for the questions. If you have any, before I do that, actually I'm going to put my contact details on the slide here. And so if you have any question, if you want to contact me, feel free to write to me or call me. My contact details are on the screen now. However, we are ready to take questions. We do have a few questions, Robert. So the first question is from Obscene Anya. And is real-time tracking of vehicles the only additional improvement from Google's trip planning functionalities currently available? So anyone wants to take that question?
Go ahead,
I can
Diane.
take the question, but
if you want, I can repeat.
What is the question?
So the question
can you repeat?
Is real-time tracking of vehicles the only additional improvement from the Google's trip planning functionalities currently available?
In fact, we use this format because it's the most common format. But then, of course, there are some other feeds that can provide this this functionality. We use it because a lot of transit providers already have that, or are working to have that. So that's why we choose this format, and it's not the only improvement. We can use some other informations, and most of the informations that we use in Triplinx are from the GTFS and the GTFS RT, which is the real-time Google data set. On other projects, we also use other feeds. So it really depends on how the project was, all the requirements, of course, the initial requirements that we received were asked us to use Google. So that's what we did.
Okay, good. Thank you, Diane. Question from Raj Bissessar from City of Toronto. Thank you, Raj. What is the cost of phase 1 of implementation? Robert.
Thank you, Raj. We have, I think, some confidentiality rules that we have to follow, but I think I can share with you that we were within the $1 to $2 million range to get the project up and running with our requirements documented, our testing, and the phase 1 functionality implemented, both for the web and for our mobile apps.
Okay, thank you, Robert. Next question is from Lorna Stewart. Thank you, Lorna. Does this solution provide specialized transit users with real-time trip information? Robert?
I can take the question.
Okay, Diane, go ahead.
So it is not in the Triplinx project. Every real-time information that we get from other projects come from feeds. So as I said previously, when we have the feed, we can show real-time information on the vehicles that are equipped with these feed trackers. So not on Triplinx, but we have some projects where we have that.
Not here in Canada, but in France? Is that what you say?
Not here in Canada. In France, when we manage some vehicle tracking, some such as FitMe, we can have this kind of information available.
Thank you, Diane. Next question is from Rob DiProfio. Thank you, Rob. Rob works for York Region, so thank you. Any consideration for integrating transit options with bike sharing services such as Bixi? So Robert, Diane, whoever wants to take that question.
Me. Yeah, in fact, it's already integrated. We have Bixi already in Triplinx. So for now, what you can find is the feed directly connected. If you go on Triplinx and you zoom on the map, you will see some bike information for the Bixi bikes, and clicking on one of the logos the logo will show you directly at what level are the bike racks and at what level are the available racks. And then you can also plan a trip from this particular point, as it is integrated as a place, and we can start a trip planner from a place, from a stop, or from an address.
Great, thank you, Diane. Next question is from Mara Bullock, and thank you, Mara. The Regional Transit Traveler Information System strategy also considered the real-time information required to support people with accessibility issues, such as elevator status, etc. Will this type of information be included in the app in future?
Yeah, that's a very good question. We have had several requests for that type of information. It's a matter of, again, doing a data inventory on that information across the region. But we do think that's something that's very high on the priority list for future phases, and I think it would be very helpful for many people young and old and those with accessibility needs. So definitely on our radar. It's not an approved phase of the project just yet, but it is on our list of items that we're hoping to get approval to proceed with.
Okay, next one is from Rob DeFrofio again, a difficult one. Any thoughts on how Triplinx might incorporate connected vehicle and autonomous vehicle in the future? Robert?
Sure. That's a great question. And again, that has come up in our future planning discussions. Again, the first mile, last mile aspects of Triplinx, and if we can solve that problem, it would be a great feature for Triplinx as well as for customers around the region. Some providers are reaching out to us proactively, and we are again sort of considering how to approach the autonomous vehicle functionality and benefits also in a way that perhaps doesn't provide first entrance advantage to a particular vendor. So we're careful in that discussion, but it's certainly something that I think would really complete and round out the full functionality of Triplinx. So yes, it's on our watch list.
Okay, excellent. Peter, you had a question, so I'm going to unmute you. Would you like to ask the question? Peter, are you there? Probably not. Peter? We cannot hear you. Okay, no issues. I'll proceed with the next question. Lorna, you had a question about the cost, so I believe that that has already been answered, and obviously Robert cannot share a lot of information about the cost. Next one is from Mara Bullock. How many downloads of the app have occurred, and are you seeing continued growth each month?
Thank you, Mara. We have had approximately 40,000 downloads of the mobile apps. We do see continued downloads on a monthly basis. And we have just recently been working on the new user interface for both the iOS and the Android app. So we hope to have much improved functionality, and also with the real-time features, we would expect that customers would be more inclined to use the Triplinx applications through their mobile device going forward. So with the real-time functionality, we expect to see an increase in downloads going forward, and we expect that Triplinx becomes more of a traveling companion as you're waiting for your bus or your train, and you can see exactly how far away it is, and be much more informed as you begin your itinerary. So yeah, we hope that the mobile downloads continue to increase, and we expect a spike once we get the real-time information integrated into those mobile apps.
Great. Thank you, Robert. Rob has another question. Does Triplinx advise the user if and when they are actually viewing real-time info versus scheduled info?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they are. Sorry, Robert, go ahead if you want.
I was going to say that the real-time information is distinctly noted with a little yellow, or sorry, orange wave icon, so it's very visible for the three agencies that we've implemented thus far on the web, HSR, YRT, and TTC Bus and Streetcar. So to be able to see the real-time icon wherever the real-time information exists. So it's quite visible and quite prominent. And again, as we move forward in Q2 with additional agencies, it'll become more of the norm to see the real-time information than the exception. So we're very much looking forward to incorporating more and more real-time information later this year.
Great, thank you. Rob, you also had your hand raised, so I'm going to unmute you if you have any additional question you would like to ask. Rob, are you there? Rob? Okay, seems we have answered all your questions, so that's good. There is a clarification from Brendan regarding the first question that was between Google real-time and the Triplinx real-time. So Brendan is suggesting that the first question had to do more with the significant differences between Triplinx and Google Transit, such as information on accessibility of stops, etc. So I hope that clarifies.
So yes, to add, in fact, Triplinx is using the feeds that Google Transit is using, but we are more focused on the information that is in the GTHA, so in the Greater Toronto and Hamilton area, which is not what Google Transit is doing. Google Transit is displaying whatever the feed contains. We are doing some treatments so that some areas are seen more than the others, or such as the GTHA, or also we have all the accessibility information is mandatory. So if there is accessibility information provided, then we show it. So the real difference is that we are able to do a treatment on what we receive for the data we receive, which Google Transit doesn't do.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Diane. Next question is from Lorna. Thank you, Lorna. I note that Cityway offers a real-time carpool function. Is this something Metrolinx is considering as a TDM measure in future?
Thank you, Lorna. Yes, definitely. We are looking at carpooling functionality. There is functionality that has carpooling through the Smart Commute application, and there is possible opportunity to integrate that functionality into Triplinx. And again, that would be on our future list for considerations. It's not currently in our contract with Cityway at the moment, but it is, again, an item that's noted for opportunity going forward.
Okay, thank you, Robert. One more question from Mara. What marketing advertising are you doing to promote the app? Have you noticed a correlation to downloads with the targeted marketing campaign, as is it typical with the traveler information systems?
Mm-hmm. At the moment, we are doing very little marketing. In fact, most of the communications are just happening between ourselves and the agencies to promote and make known the changes that we're implementing on an ongoing basis. We haven't specifically initiated a marketing campaign as yet, and we've elected to wait until we have further functionality within Triplinx before initiating that campaign. So as yet, there's very little marketing being done from a Triplinx perspective.
Great, thank you, Robert. Last question in the list, Francisco Calderon. Thank you, Francisco. The question is, does the app handle trip chains in which legs consist of different modes, as in starting the trip by bike and then taking the public transit?
Yes, it is. So a multimodal trip planner allows to, is everybody hearing me?
Yes. Yep.
Sorry. So a multimodal trip planner allows to combine multiple modes. So the modes we chose in Triplinx, we are managing transit information from bus, trains, streetcars, bus, trains, streetcars, and I have a four mode. Subway, sorry, but also personal bike, so you can start your trip with your personal bike, and then depending on the information we receive from the feed, you can also take your bike on board. So you can, for example, start a trip with your bike, take the train, take your bike on board, and finish your trip with your bike if you request to have a bike on board trip. You can also start by your car, or start with your personal car, stop where you request, so it can be in a park and ride station, or it can be at any station. Then you drop your car there and you finish your trip by transit. Also walking, there is walking only, of course. If the trip is possible to be made by walking, depending on the walking distance that is set in your preferences, you can have the walking on the trip.
Thank you, Diane. I was wrong in saying that it was the last question. There is one more from Rob DeProfio. Rob, thank you. Question is, expanding on our previous question regarding bike sharing, will bike sharing services be incorporated in the planning of a trip? Currently, it appears it does not. We have tried some test trip plans, and it suggests walking to the destination right past the Big C station.
So this is more a future phase thing. It depends on how we want to integrate the bike stations. For now, it's integrated as a point, but in the future evolution, we could consider it as a point and a personal bike, a bike that you take as a bike sharing and include it in the trip planner. For now, it's not one of the modes integrated in the trip planner. Only personal bike is integrated.
Okay, thank you. Again, I was wrong in saying that was the last question. There's one more, and great question actually. Thank you, Abseen, Anya. The question is, will there be consideration of integrating fare payments across the modes, bus, rail, through Triplinx? So I can answer part of the question and now leave the other question for Robert, is that to make it happen through Triplinx, first the fare integration arrangement needs to happen, and then only Triplinx can take care of the implementation. Robert, would you like to add anything to that?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, that's a very good point, Rajiv. So there are efforts underway regarding fare integration as a whole prior to adding any technology that would allow the fare integration to be part of, for instance, a mobile app. Cityway, as mentioned by Diane earlier in her presentation, is able to provide expertise in integrating fare integration into mobile apps and better integrating that fare integration into the Triplinx app as well. Currently, it's not, again, not part of our initial three-phase contract with Cityway, but it is, as some of the other features mentioned, it is definitely on our radar for a possible integration into Triplinx. And again, it's also being driven by the mobile strategy that is presently underway and the recommendations that come out of that. But certainly that is an option to go with fare integration or to extend it through an application like Triplinx.
That's all. We have questions, Robert and Dan, and on behalf of ITS Canada and all attendees and myself, I would like to thank you for your time. I know you guys are extremely busy and you have to go through some process to get this done, so really appreciate your help. And thank you once again. I would like to also thank all the attendees. I just wanted to let you know at the peak we had about 54 attendees. 80 people had registered, 54 people certainly went through your presentation, Robert and Diane, and we still have about 34 people online listening to all the discussions going on. So thank you all. And these webinars are successful only if we are able to provide some meaningful information to all of you. I would also like to remind all of you that ITS World Congress is happening in Canada this year. It happens every 10-12 years. So this is a great opportunity for all of you to join the conference. It is in Montreal from October 29th to November 2nd. If you have not already registered, please register. And also, if you are interested in presenting at the World Congress, there is still opportunity to submit your abstracts. If you need any more information, my contact details are on the screen. We'll be more than happy to provide the information. Also, the information is available on ITS Canada website. So once again, thank you all. It has been great, great webinar, and I appreciate support from all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rajiv.